Hi everyone, it's Sunday morning. You can hear the church bells in the distance there. And guess who I'm out with today? The one and only mud lover, Si Fines.
Hi Nick, how you doing?
Great to see you down here. What a coincidence. What have you got?
Just a broken little ink pot there. So yeah, I'm sure we do better than that today. We've got a fun packed field day today, out on the boats, going to some new locations. Can't wait to get stuck in.
Here they come. Wave again.
It's all fun at the MBS.
You on a bike, Si?
Oh, not that one. No, not for me. Oh, look, she's grabbed me.
Oh, little crabs. Hello, crab.
You always wanted a pet.
Yeah, I know. Not a crab.
Oh, Nick, come here.
Oh, hang on a minute. I've just seen a little, half a little plate. What have you got?
Check it out. Got a pipe.
No way. So you have.
I thought it was a shell or a ring, but looks like it could be a pipe buried in the mud there.
Well, it makes a change somebody else finds.
Ooh.
Oh, look. A little extraction. We like a little pipe extraction.
Oh, it's only the bowl.
Oh, that's okay. It's still a remarkable piece of history.
It is.
That's been sitting there for over 100 years.
Easily.
Well done, that boy.
First pipe bowl.
Well done.
Well, do you know what? If Duncan doesn't find one today, I'll give it to him. There we go. How's that sound?
You're so kind.
Yeah.
Oh, look! I can see a really nice stone ink just sitting there. A little pork pie.
Lovely.
Just down there, look. Just sitting there, waiting to be picked up. Look at that.
Oh, wow. That's remarkable, isn't it? To think that's been there, just sitting there all those years.
Yeah. But look here, Si. Look at all this typeset here. See that? Loads of bits.
Well, Nick has done a fab job of finding loads of type, lead type. So we might spend a little bit of time here just picking a few of these lovely items up.
So lots of modern coinage.
Hassel
Ooh.
Commercial Road. That's cool.
I've got a nice little token here, look.
No way!
Yeah. Something fruit. 6D.
Oh, that's a little fruit machine token from.
Oh, is that what it is?
20s, 30s, maybe something like that.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
That's cool. Well, we've hit a little hotspot here, Nick. Let's get searching.
Oh, there's quite a few little coiny things here.
Oh, they got it. They got it.
Oh, what's that?
10p.
10p. Oh, that's quite funny.
And a button.
I got 5p.
Yeah, it's a nice fly buttons today.
I'm going to pick up some of these bits of typeset here. Well, at least I think it's typeset. Yeah, it is.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, loads of it.
20p. We're doing the money now.
Right, well, I'll come back and scoop some more of those up shortly, but I'm going to go and have a look somewhere else first. Oh, look, what's this? Oh, here we have a... What's that? Oh, it's a £2 coin. I haven't seen one of those for a while.
The good news is we can. The good news is, Nick, we cannot get cut out. The good news is we can't get cut off because we've got our taxi down there waiting for us.
Did my hair, makeup, wardrobe.
So wash your face, stick your face in the wardrobe.
I've just found another £2 coin, second one.
Oh, you're raking it in.
Yeah, are they still valid £2 coins?
Raking
Oh,
it in.
very funny. Oh, no, there's just another one. 3 £2 coins. I was just doing a bit of scraping and uncovered this button. Oh yes, that's a nice one. There's definitely a maker on there. Fantastic. I do love researching a good button, as you know. What's this? That's a 1p, 20p over there as well. Oh, it's a tiny little lead soldier. That is so small, without a head. What a shame. Put him carefully in my bag. What's that? Oh, there's a nice little bottle stopper here. Let's do the obligatory stopper in the sun shot. Now look, there's something rather lovely here. It's a little coat of arms, and I can't quite read what it says on there at the moment. What's that under here? Oh, look! It's another. Is that a £2 coin? Crikey, I'm finding lots of £2 coins today. I've also got another button here and a little black bead.
Sometimes they have them.
So I've got quite a nice spot here, so I'm going to stay here for a while.
Find out online quite easily the stamps and stuff.
Got his house, and they found his meal in the pot, the lentil curry. So the oldest food in London is a curry that we can find.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Another nice button here. Oh, there's a nice
coin. Is it?
little stopper.
It's not much though, it's tuppence.
Yeah, when they're rusted like that, it usually means they're modern.
But look, I found my first mudlarking coin as well.
You got
2 pence richer.
You put that in a little frame. Oh no, easy come, easy go.
Easy come, easy go.
I've just come over here for a little moment away from Simon and Duncan because they were very loud. They're talking too loud. I wanted to just show you what I've found. I found this beautiful little pendant here. Be strong in the Lord. And on the other side it's got Saint Peter or St Petrus with the 2 keys. So that's so special. And I also just found this little tiny ring. And it's very bent there. And I found a nice few buttons, I'll show you them later, and some fragments of a pipe bowl in addition to the part of a pipe I found a little while back. So just wanted to give you a little update on that. I did film it, but it was a bit noisy at the time. So here they are. I'm going to go and see if I can find anything else. I just flipped over this rock and I can see a bit of pottery here. It looks really interesting. It's got some lettering on it. Could be part of an old pot with some medicine or some kind of food. Let's have a look. Something that we could research anyway. Yeah, there's enough on there to be able to find out something. Allen and something. Oh, something for nursing. Is entirely free, blah blah blah. Then half for something for nursing. Oh, it must be, maybe it's baby milk. That's nice. Oh, I can't wait to look that up. Pop that in my bag. It's always worth lifting up the stones to see what's going on underneath. Again, I just moved this big stone out of the way and saw just down here, sorry I'm in my shadow, let's get out of my shadow, just down there, oh I'm in it again, never mind, a nice button. Now what is that? Is that a general service button? No, that's a beautiful, oh that's a really lovely button, and I think I've got one very similar, if not the same. You see there's a ship on there. Isn't that stunning? It's like a little galleon. Oh, that's gorgeous. Wow. I absolutely love that. The tide is coming in, so we're on a bit of a race against the tide, so I'm going to keep searching and I'll show you what I found at the end. I can't really lose any tide time, any low tide time. Let me pop that in my safe little pouch. See what else we've got going on down here. Bit of metal here. I wonder if it might be a label or something. Let's have a look. Okay, I'm going to need... there we are. No, I'm going to need both hands for this. Oh no, maybe not. It's coming out, it's coming out. Ooh, it looks like a very flattened spoon. Out it comes, out it comes. Makes a change from a pipe extraction. Oh, look at that lovely spoon. Totally flat. Just give it a rinse off in this handy little pool. That spoon has been completely flattened. It's rather nice, don't you think? Let's have a quick look down here. I've just seen a chain here. Nothing on it, unfortunately. Just a little chain. Oh, the tide's coming in. What's that? There's like a mixture of modern rubbish here and sort of Victorian bits and pieces. Oh, I can see another button down here, I think. Oh, I've had a real treat with buttons today. I've definitely got a few names to research. Another one. What's that? I can see a little coin down here. Could be modern. Oh no, it's not. Look, it's not modern. Let's give it a rinse. It's very noisy here. Oh, it might be American actually. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think that's a scent. Okay, have a little examination of that later. Oh, I can see another round bit poking out from here. I'm gonna have to watch out for this naughty tide. Let's get it out. No, don't go under there. Oh look, it's another American coin. Okay, we've hit the American coin patch. Down there I can see a pipe stem, but it looks like it could be an intriguing pipe stem, and because I'm in a different area to where I usually am, I may discover a pipe maker that I don't know yet. Ah yeah, so this is Andrew's, and he was a pipe maker in Vauxhall Walk. Well, there you go. I love a pipe stem with a maker on it. It's so handy. They used to put their names on one side and the place they made them on the other from around about the mid-19th century. So it's perfect. So now we're going to be able to look up a little bit about Andrew's.
It's getting a bit deep, guys. Can we get going in a minute?
Right, well, here are the pies that I made for these boys. And, okay, what's the verdict? How are they?
Nice. Yeah. Recommended.
They're not talking too much, so they must be right.
That says it all, doesn't it?
So you're taking us back, are you, Si?
Take this back, skip the site, says we've got to go back now.
Now the MVS, we're a voluntary charity organisation, former Royal Navy. We used to be the auxiliary service and now became the MVS Maritime Volunteer Service in the 1990s. And it's a community of about 400 people, 30 odd units and about 50 boats around the country. And the idea is to keep the old Dunkirk kind of supply skills alive, but also to sort of, this water's been used for a long time around here, around the country, and it hasn't been used for a very long time. So it's to reintroduce skills back to the water. We do powerboat training, safety boat training. It's all a community project. It doesn't cost very much to join, and anybody's welcome from 18 upwards, really. Gently, 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 gently. All right, we're going to go in a full circle. Keep it over there.
Yep.
Keep it, keep it, keep it there. When I say bring up the power, so bring the power up now. Max, just gently creep it up. Gently creep it up. Keep it full over, full over, full over, full over, full over. More power.
And you sort of encourage people that may not be that confident in life generally, and people that be sort of getting over certain personal issues, and you're doing things to people that may not be quite so fortunate to do this thing, solo, and you can help provide a sort of, you're giving back a little bit to the wider community, yeah?
A lot of our guys thank us because, we took some guys out recently on the same sort of day like you, and he said this is the first time in 15 years I went home at 9 o'clock and fell asleep on my bed without taking drugs. Thank you very much indeed. And it helped with his rehab, so he was then pushed through the rehab and so on. Now he's a plumber and he's got through it, so it really, really helps people's mental health, we think.
Yeah, great.
It's a very good process, and also I think with the older people, they kind of feel left out at 60, 70 years old, and we don't have any upper age limits, so if you're 80, 85 years old, you've got some skills, you've been at water, come and teach us. We want to know, right? It's teach us what you know about the water, about what's going on here, and the more experience of the older you are, the better, really, because then you can really tell us what we do. If you look up Maritime Volunteer Service, you'll find us very easily. Putney MVS is on there as well. We've got a little YouTube thing starting now as well.
Great.
Just to sort of talk about the painting and the things that we do. But if you want to just come down and play on the water or just have some fun with boats, get some skills, learn something new, we're here every weekend, and we've got 4 boats now, and it's for anyone 18 upwards. No upper age limit. If you're 18, 19, you want to come and join us, come along. It's for everybody.
Brilliant, thank you very much. So, Frank and Duncan, how did you think my skippering was?
Oh, you're a natural, Nicola.
It was excellent.
And thank you for the 50 quid for that, for saying so.
Cheeky.
No, very, very good indeed. Very natural.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Frank, for kind of just making sure, keeping your hand very close to the throttle there.
But I think what we'd like to learn out of that, is that it's not that hard.
Yeah.
You can do it if you've got confidence and a bit of time and you don't rush. Obviously that, it's actually quite easy, it's quite fun.
Well, yeah, and you're both extremely good teachers, so that helps a lot, doesn't it?
Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, how are you? Thank you very much for watching my video. I hope you're all well, wherever you are in the world. Is it getting cold where you are? Here on this side of the world, it's actually getting quite nippy now, and the other day I went out and I bought a hot water bottle. It's a fluffy hot water bottle, and I'd forgotten how cosy it is to sit there and snuggle up with a hot water bottle. So I'm just putting it out there in case you want to try it as well. I remember vaguely in childhood my mum getting me a hot water bottle, and my sister mentioned it the other day. She said she was going out to buy a hot water bottle. She didn't really want to put her heating on yet. I thought, what a great idea. And I did. And it's absolutely lovely. Anyway, we're not here to talk about hot water bottles. We're here to talk about mudlarking on the River Thames and some of the extraordinary historical artefacts that get washed out by the tide. So I've got them all here in front of me, so I'm going to talk about a few of them. But firstly, thank you again to Duncan and Frank, and Simon, of course, but Duncan and Frank from the Maritime Volunteer Service. They were absolutely great taking us out like that, and we had a brilliant time. And if you want to have a little look at what they get up to, then do check out their website. And particularly if you live in London, you may want to get involved. From age 8 to age 80, and probably beyond that, I should think, everybody is welcome to learn how to drive a boat, to get together, to have a bit of a social time as well. So do look them up. Right, what shall we start with? Do you know what I noticed today is that there is quite a lot of objects in this little hall of finds from the low tide related to vices such as alcohol, gambling, smoking, and so let's start with alcohol. With this little medallion here, I suppose you could call it, which is a piece of history related to the temperance movement, which started in around about 1830 and who campaigned against the use of alcohol. They believed that it led to poverty, child neglect, all sorts of social problems. And so they started up this temperance movement to really try and encourage people not to drink alcohol. So on this here, it says St. Peter's Church, Temperance Guild, be strong in the Lord. And there is the crossed keys there, the keys of St. Peter. And of course, St. Peter owned the keys to heaven, so that makes reference to that. And so be strong in the Lord and rely on the Lord, in other words, and not on alcohol. So this little medallion here could relate to the church of St. Peter's just over the river from where we were in Vauxhall. And if I just share my screen here a moment, here it is, yes, St. Peter's Church in Vauxhall, because they also had a temperance guild, which is just here. Yeah, there was a parochial temperance guild, and from 1877 a branch of the Guild of the Holy Sepulchre. So certainly it could come from them, but also they're not the only St. Peter's Church that had a temperance guild. I found one mentioned in the newspaper in 1894, 18th of May, and it is the St. Peter's Church of Eaton Square, also in London, and they talk about a little fete that they were having, the Temperance Fete. On Whit Monday, the St. Peter's Eaton Square Church Temperance Guild ran their 17th annual excursion when, by the kind permission of W.D. Mackenzie, Esquire, they spent a very enjoyable day in Fawley Court Park. The excursion was open to all who agreed to abstain from intoxicating liquors during the day, and 321 availed themselves of the trip. It's my understanding that these guilds and, in fact, the temperance movement as a whole started to fade away a little bit after the Second World War. But here we have a reminder, and I wonder who wore this medallion, if they won it at maybe a fete like the one mentioned in the newspaper article, and if they managed to abstain from alcohol. There we are. It's in remarkably good condition. So what next? Let's move on to another vice, gambling, with this Bell fruit token with 6D on it, which is, I believe, a sixpence. And it is an early fruit machine token, or if you're in the USA and in some other parts of the world, it's called a slot machine. And I'm thinking it probably dates to, probably mid-20th century, maybe the 50s or the 60s. Now, when I was looking up information about fruit machines and slot machines, I fell down quite a good slot machine rabbit hole, and I came across an episode of The Twilight Zone called The Fever. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Do give it a watch. It's a black and white film, and I think some of those old black and white films are just brilliant, very, very evocative and atmospheric. Anyway, it's this man who gets gambling fever and can't stop using a slot machine. And then after that, I stumbled upon a Jack Benny programme from 1961, an American programme some of you may be familiar with. And in this programme, he was discovering the slot machines, basically. He'd never seen one before and he was trying them out. So I did record that little piece, and it's here for you to watch now.
What are all those funny-looking, those machines, all of those, what are those things? How do they work?
You mean those slot machines?
Yes, I've never seen one. How do they work?
Oh, well, come with me. I'll show you.
All right.
Come closer. Don't be afraid.
Oh, all right. How does it work?
Well, you put a nickel in here, and you pull this handle.
Wait a minute. Let's see. You put a nickel here, and then you pull this handle.
That's right.
I see. Huh?
Now, if 2 cherries come up here, you get 5 nickels back.
Well, that's fair.
And if 3 oranges come up here, you get 11 nickels back.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Now, if 3 bells come up, you get 18 nickels.
No kidding.
And if 3 bars come up, you get the $50 jackpot.
$50? That's sensational. Wow. Now, what happens if you put your nickel in there and none of those things that you mentioned come up, you know?
Well, in that case, you lose your nickel.
Well, that's ridiculous. I mean, this thing will never catch on.
So what did you think of that? I don't know about you, but I have played on slot machines on occasions, and I have never really won anything, but it's definitely very tempting to keep on putting your money in because you always think you're just going to get something that next time. Or the worst ones, I think, for children in the arcades are those ones where there's loads of coins just hanging over the edge of something, and you keep putting in your 2p's thinking that they're all going to fall down, and they never do. They just never do. Staying on the American theme, actually, as you noticed, I did find quite a few American coins, and they are dated to the 1970s. So these objects, they're all pretty much, as we can see, from the same kind of time, like the mid-20th century, by the looks of it. Although possibly the Temperance Guild medallion is slightly earlier. And one place where one would definitely have found some fruit machines and slot machines is Westcliff-on-Sea, and that is what is imprinted or stamped into this little badge or pin here. It's got Westcliff-on-Sea along the bottom, and then the coat of arms of Westcliff-on-Sea. Now, Westcliff-on-Sea is actually in Essex, and there is a big beach there, Westcliff Beach, and a big kind of fairground area. So exactly the sort of place that you would go with your 6D Bell fruit machine token to see if you could win a few pennies. So somebody had obviously been there and got this as a little souvenir, and then somehow or other it ended up in the Thames, and who knows how or why. Buttons, as usual, I did find quite a few buttons, and some of them have got some makers on them. There's one here which is from Denman and Goddard, a tiny little button. But Denman and Goddard, and actually they still exist, they are very, very posh and bespoke tailors. Now this one is marked with Eton, and from the mid-1800s, Denman and Goddard actually made the uniforms for Eton College. Very, very distinct uniforms that the boys and young men at Eton College wear. This little tiny ring is probably the kind of thing as well, going back to fairgrounds, that you could hope to win in a fair or an amusement arcade back in the early 1900s. It's very, very brittle. I don't want to try and bend it back into shape because I know from experience that if I do, it will probably snap. So I will resist the temptation to do that. A very flattened spoon, but there's something rather nice about it. And I've got quite a few nice old spoons. I'm going to put them in a frame. Eventually, I keep talking about all these things I'm going to put in frames and I don't seem to get around to it. Time is very difficult to find sometimes, but I am going to do it. It's on my list. So anyway, I do have a few little challenges for you if you want to do a little bit of research and see if you can find out some information about the following 3 items. Now, one of them is another button. It's this one here. Now, on it is marked 53 Leadenhall Street, Jackson and Co. Now, I have looked up this and I can't find anything that relates to a tailor, to be honest. So if you want to see if you can find anything related to Jackson and Co. of Leadenhall Street, I'd be very interested to know what you come up with. Now, this one here, this is a piece of pottery. Very, very nice, very, very tantalising fragment with just enough information on for us to know that it does come from Hanbury and, Hanbury and Allen. And they did manufacture all sorts of pharmaceutical goods. They were a British pharmaceutical company which were founded in about 1715. And they made various things, including infant food. And I think that this has got something to do with that. I did find a little bit of information and some posters or advertisements relating to infant food, but I'd love to know what this pot would have been for in its entirety, or what it would have looked like, and I couldn't find an example. So again, if you want to have a go to see if you can find something, that would be absolutely brilliant, and then let me know in the comments below. And the other one is this little pipe stem here, which is marked with Andrews on one side and Vauxhall Street. So it's obviously a pipe maker, but I can't actually come up with any information about an Andrews of Vauxhall Street who made clay pipes. Now this, I would imagine, dates to the mid-19th century. And yeah, I drew a blank really. I mean, I haven't spent a great deal of time on it. But yeah, if you can find anything out about an Andrews of Vauxhall Street, that would be excellent. As I mentioned when I found it, clay pipe makers used to mark their stems from about the mid-19th century with their name and where it was made on the other side. So really useful, and often when you have that information, you can find out quite a lot about them. But this one, I cannot find out anything. So here's a challenge. See if you can find out something about Andrews, pipe maker of Vauxhall Street. So that's that. What else have I got here? Oh, this is a beautiful button. This one here. It has a ship on it. And it has actually part of the coat of arms of the City of London on it. So worn by a City of London employee in some capacity or other. I'm not quite sure exactly what. It's really pretty with that little galleon on there. And of course, I found rather a lot of lead type. And when I got home, actually, I did start typing it out on paper. And there are rather a lot of C's and O's and S's and P's and double F's as well. But they're all very dainty and very pretty and in remarkably good printing condition, considering they've been washing around in the tide for so long. Yeah, great little outing. And actually, this outing took place last year, so quite a while ago. But I'm using up some of my old footage. I've got so much footage in my files, and I thought, right, I'm going to go back and use up what I haven't used. And Simon did a video, Simon Bourne did a video about this outing last year. So if you want to see what he found and find out even more about the Maritime Volunteer Service, then I'll put a link to his video so you can go back and see what he found as well. So what else? I will mention that if you are tempted to try mudlarking, which would be totally understandable because it is an absolutely fascinating pastime, can get quite addictive. It's so interesting and very motivating when you find something to research the history. The whole sort of thing of mudlarking is absolutely magical. So lots of people want to try it, but I just want to remind you that if you do want to try it, you do need to get a permit from the Port of London Authority, and you can find all the details about the permit on the website of the Port of London Authority. If you just Google Mudlarking, Port of London Authority. You'll find out everything that you need to know. Apart from that, if you're wondering who has made this rather beautiful necklace here with one of my favourite birds on it, which is a cormorant, it is, of course, my good friend Wendy Meister, who makes beautiful jewellery inspired by the Thames and mudlarking, the nature, the implements we use. I've even got my Wendy trowel earrings, my mudlarking trowel earrings, and she made my ring I'm wearing actually. I'm a real advocate for Wendy's jewellery. It really is just beautiful. This is a butterfly which was made out of 2 rings, which I also found in the river. And when I couldn't find who owned them, I decided to have them melted down and made into a butterfly, which is one of my favourite insects, I suppose you could call a butterfly, couldn't you? Right, so I think that's just about it. Let me check my notes. Was there anything else I was going to mention? I don't think so. So thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed that little outing along the River Thames. You never know what you're going to find, do you? And you just never know what you're going to learn about. And in this case, a little bit about alcohol, gambling and tobacco. A little bit of everything there. So thank you again to you all for your donations to my Ko-fi site. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for being such a kind and engaging community. You all absolutely rock. And I can't wait to see you again very soon with more mudlarking adventures. And in the meantime, take care everyone. Sending you lots of love from London. Bye-bye.
Big hole just here.
I think I got a nickel here. Let's see. I'm gonna try that machine. Mr. Benny, you hit the super jackpot.